Welcome to another edition of Crime News with Mark Solomon. It's Monday, June 21st, and today we're going to address the question, was Alex Cox murdered? But before we get to that, don't forget to click like and subscribe with a little bell next to it to be notified of future videos. When I update them regularly, you won't be disappointed. So let's talk about this for a second. Was Alex Cox murdered? It's a good question. And the questions that I've been getting from the viewers here really pointed. They said, I don't think Alex was as involved as much as Lori and Chad. Other people say that, no, we think he was poisoned, and the entire murder, or his entire death and his involvement with the potential murder of Tammy Daybell, whole thing is too suspicious not to talk about. So let's do a little bit of review. Let's talk a little bit about the timeline, because that's going to make a huge difference when we start talking about whether or not you think this is possible. Let's look at this article, which I found that addresses a lot of the timeline that goes back from the beginning. I'm not going to go over it all. You should look at this. The link will be in the comments below. But, 2001, 2006, 2014, this is important. 2018, Lori and Chad meet each other. Then 2019, court documents suggest that Lori was married to Charles, and in the process, Alex is allegedly thought to have shot and killed Charles Vallow. Now, that is thereabouts, let me get that date, that is July 11. Okay, so this is all in 2019 that I'm talking about. July 11, Alex allegedly shoots and kills Lori's husband. Then on October 9, Alex attempts to shoot and kill Tammy. Now, here, this is really important that we think about this. So there's Lori and Chad. Lori is married to Charles. Chad is married to Tammy. And within a handful of months of each other, both of them are dead. Tammy from dying in her sleep. Charles was shot by Alex, and now Alex is he's connected to both of these allegations. So let's go back to the timeline, and what we're seeing here is, here it is, and then to 2019, we're talking about in November. The children go missing. So October is when Alex Cox attempted to shoot and kill Tammy. November, the children are missing. And then December 12th is when Alex dies of his blood clots, his thrombosis. Now, think about that, because what we're really talking about is within a month of the children's disappearance, he dies. And, again, they say natural causes at first, but the comorbidity, the thing that he also had was high blood pressure and a pulmonary thrombosis. That's a blood clot in his lung, and that's what supposedly killed him. So I've had my viewers who are talking about, well, maybe he was poisoned. So I start thinking, is it possible to murder somebody and give somebody blood clots? In other words, if I was the defense attorney for either Chad or Lori, could I do that to try to slough some of the blame off on Alex? Okay, whether that'll work or not, wait till the end. I'll give you my opinion on that. So here, let's look at some of the research that I found. This is an article that I found from 2019. Okay. It's a medical scientific article. I'm not going to go over the scientific details because I'm not a scientist. I'm a lawyer. Pulmonary thrombosis, blood clots in the lung in acute organophosphate poisoning. And, again, link is going to be in the description, but this is what I found. It took me about 10 minutes to find this article where they say that acute organophosphate poisoning treated with atropine showed a potential for inducing prothrombotic coagulation abnormalities, as in blood clots presented with PT. This life-threatening complication may additionally contribute to prolonged morbidity and mortality in OP, that's the organophosphate poisonings, especially in patients with a history of comorbidities, like high blood pressure. And, again, this article goes through and it talks about all the case reports and the evidence and, chest cavity with elevated right hemidiaphragm and not a scientist, okay? But look, we are looking for organophosphate poisoning. So I look up what the heck that is, and I find a Wikipedia article on what the heck is organophosphates. And without going into the science of it, it is found in nature, true, but it is also found in pesticides. And as I've highlighted here, mostly, at least most commonly, in organophosphate pesticides. So I do a quick Google search and I find, Google shopping, these things are very readily available, right? Like I'm looking at this 5-EC insecticide, a gallon of which is $62 thereabouts. Malathion, I'm sure I'm not spelling that right. And when I look at this pesticides, again, malathion is exactly the organophosphate pesticides that this article is talking about can cause pulmonary thrombosis, which is exactly what Alex Cox died of. Suspicious? Yes. Suspicious as hell? Oh my heavens, yes. So now, and again, I'm not telling you how to do this stuff. In fact, don't do it. It's too easy to find, you've been searching for it. I'm even scared I did it myself. Maybe somebody's going to come looking for me. But seriously, as a defense attorney, what I always try to do is look at if some of these theories are possible, what witnesses would you need to be able to present that? Now, there's an article that we can find an author for who did a research study, and also they're experts in organophosphate poisoning and organophosphate pesticides. So this is something that if Chad or Lori's defense attorneys don't use, I'd be very surprised because at some point they may want to blame the other one. Okay, so I told you I'd come back to it. Is this going to make any difference? The answer is, I don't think so. I really don't. Because remember, both Chad and Lori are being charged with not only the murders of both Tammy and JJ and Tylee, but also they're being charged with a conspiracy to commit the murders. So if Alex was involved in the murder of any one of them, then all three could be charged, potentially convicted with the murder of all of them, if it was all part of the same conspiracy. Remember, in a conspiracy, the left hand doesn't have to know what the right hand is doing. But in this case, it looks and feels, this is just my opinion, it looks and feels as though the three of them got together. Potentially Alex did the wet work, right? He tried to kill Tammy at least once, and he did kill Charles before he himself died. And it's maybe that Lori and Chad were trying to get rid of Alex and then blame him for the whole kit and caboodle. But it's not working because, and that's why I kind of labeled this thing as a botched attempt, as a frame up or a setup job for Alex. And, again, I don't think I think he might have underestimated their ability to just get rid of all the evidence, including him as a loose end. So that wouldn't surprise me if at some point the prosecutors, the investigators, they wanted to go back into the financials of Chad and Lori and look to see if there are any purchases of any of these organophosphates. This is a theory brought by some of my viewers, and, I looked into it. It looks like it holds water, but I don't think it helps them because they're being charged anyway. And obviously, Lori is being held for restoration, so she's not competent to stand trial. But if and when she is restored, I think this may be tacked on. I think it's something that keeps coming up in comments and in articles. What do you think? Do you think it's possible? Do you think it matters? I'd love to know. Put it in the comments below. And until we have another topic, I just want you to know I appreciate your being here. All of your comments, questions, and thoughts are welcome. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate your time. Anything you want to know about, anything you want me to research, I'd be more than happy to answer. Put them in the comments, email me, or tag me on Twitter. Thanks again.